All right, today on Eat Like a Local, we are going to talk about craft barbecue, what it takes to produce craft barbecue. It's all about that smoke, it's all about that meat, it's all about the heart that goes into this, because barbecue's changed these days. We're going to talk about that, all right? Let's get at it. I didn't see you there. We're out at Truth Barbecue today. Check this out. Man, you're not seeing this anywhere else. Look at this. Briskets on the cooker. We got this cooker sitting outside. 120 something briskets a day. Line forms every day. You're getting the best brisket. You're getting some of the best ribs, some of the best sides. His mom's recipes on all the cakes and desserts. This place is the truth. I hate to say it like that, but it literally is the truth. Let's get in and enjoy this today, huh? Brisket, ribs, 4 different types of sausages that you process here. Your turkey is one of the most, I think, underrated things on the face of the planet.
Like, we always try to push people on the turkey.
It's so good. So think about Truth Barbecue. Texas Monthly puts out their top 50 lists every year. But if you can make it into the top 10, you know you're doing it right. Truth was named number 3 at Texas Monthly, which to me, when you say number 3 best barbecue in the state of Texas, you're saying the 3rd best in the world. The first Truth is in Brenham, right? And it's small.
Yeah.
Right, not like what we have here today on Washington Avenue.
2 tables on the inside. I was just out of college at the time, so there wasn't a lot of money to throw around. So it was kind of like a Field of Dreams thing. Like, if you build it, maybe they'll show up.
You made the move to come to Houston, right?
Yeah.
And open up arguably one of the greatest barbecue places in Houston, right? Or in Texas, right? Let's say that.
But we're in good company, so we all kind of push each other.
Yeah.
So it's cool because we all want to be the best, and we all try to almost one-up each other, but we're all supporting each other. So we're pushing each other to be better. So that's what's really good about barbecue. I had barbecue in Austin at a couple of places for the first time, you know, waiting in line for 3 to 4 hours in the Texas heat, 107 degrees.
Yeah.
You stand in line and you talk to all these people about all their barbecue experiences, and then being in the backyard and, you know, going to Lockhart and doing all the things, and it gives you more of appreciation of like how it started. Basically the name Truth came from, I wanted to stay true to Texas barbecue and be very Central Texas style and use 100% post oak, offset stick burners.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be very true to that craft barbecue aspect of how it started.
But we started talking about craft barbecue, and that's kind of where we're at now, right? 2010, Gatlin's opened, and I feel like they were the kind of the first ones to start pushing that movement, and like you could tell the difference.
Yeah.
Craft barbecue. What do you consider that to be?
I think what craft barbecue moved into is that evolution where you're using Duroc pork, where you're using prime brisket, where you're taking the extra steps. I don't think anybody was wrapping in butcher paper and protecting that brisket before Aaron was.
Yeah.
And it was all these little tedious steps to improve the game of barbecue and the overall quality before we opened up in 2015. Nothing was on Instagram, nothing was on YouTube. Yeah. Everything was hush-hush. Everybody was trying to figure out what Aaron was seasoning with. Everybody was trying to figure out what beef people were using. And hopefully this doesn't show up, but I remember digging through people's trash at the restaurants to see what kind of briskets they were using, because I was like, man, that's the secret.
Yeah.
And I had to fall on my face thousands of times and go through the evolution of this works, this doesn't work.
You went from 3 briskets to what?
There's 112 on today.
I mean, a little different, but you chose to go with offsets. When you start talking about offset pits, boy, that's a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
Right? And it's method and thought process and a lot of tweaking. Boy, you ain't kidding, man.
Belly of the beast.
But in here, you have a very specific temperature, I mean, it's just hot. It is what it is. But look at these things. I mean, this is an amazing thing to see, right? So we start talking about pits. We're talking about rotisserie style pits and offset smokers. So with rotisserie style, the heat is in the back. It's a big cabinet, and the meat just basically goes on a Ferris wheel of happy. It's continually getting smoke, heat, but it rotates through the cabinet. Now, when we start to talk about an offset, think of this as your backyard pit. You've got the barrel, the chamber, if you will, the smokestack, and the firebox. And what you do is when you're lighting this fire, you're having to tend it more often.
It's more hands-on. It's always maintaining, it's always tweaking the meat, it's always turning it, making sure that the smoke is hitting it properly. It's a lot of work, but the effort pays off.
Offset, heat, controlling dampers.
All just wood. Every single one of them is fired up right now. So each one takes a little bit of a breath away from me from the oxygen it takes.
Right, it does. Yeah, we're below sea level,
Yeah.
right? But it does. It feels like you're on a mountain because each one of these fires is living and breathing. I've run restaurants, and there's no way I would ever dip my toe into the barbecue world, right?
Yeah.
It's a level of consistency that would drive me like insane.
Oh, man, I have notebooks piled up, like just of temperatures, humidity, the weather, how the wind was, like everything, so I could go back and see, like kind of tweak over, cook over, cook over, cook. If we want everything to be the exact same and coming off at the same time, so we're not here for 48 hours, we do a lot of movements. And it's basically one game of Tetris the entire cook.
So this is the Tetris of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's not just putting a piece of meat on, starting the fire and letting it go. It's maintaining it, making sure that this is done, if this is happening, and they're gonna wrap it to protect it. It's a thought process, not just it literally is science,
Yeah.
one, and it's not just like throw a piece of meat on and let it go.
So the most radiant parts of this pit are gonna be on the doors and the walls. So you gotta figure out how to cook here, 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 all the same rate. So basically, this guy will go here, this guy will go here, this guy will go here, this guy will go here.
So you'll maneuver all of these things.
So everything gets cooked at the same rate. And then the ones in the back will go to the front, they'll all shift back one.
You have to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, you have to have a team. And the guys on the line, they know they're just as important as the guys in the pit room because, you've been in a steakhouse before, all the cows aren't the same.
No.
Same thing with brisket, so they're the gatekeepers. And these guys know, what needs to go on the plate, what doesn't, and it's not always the cook. Sometimes it's how the cow is.
As we start to move into this new era, like you're making your own pickles, you're making your own sausage, you're doing your own but the sides are a part of it, right? It's not just the baked beans or the pinto beans and the coleslaw. What is this? Tater tot casserole, basically?
Tater tot casserole, yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts, because if you're gonna eat all this, you need to eat that too.
Yeah, they are fried in beef fat though.
There's that. And you know what? They've got an amazing wine list. You've got a great bar list. We're sitting at the bar. Yeah. And that's not something you normally see in the barbecue joint. All right, what do you got here?
So in the back, we got pepper jack sausage, we got jalapeno cheddar sausage, we got briskets, we got pork ribs, we got tater tot casserole, Brussels sprouts, escabeche, some pickled red onions, and some house-made dill pickles.
And these are all things that you need because this is super rich, and if you're not having a glass of nice Chablis or champagne, you need that acid, and that's what you're getting from these, right? Beautiful. First off, hold up. Because this needs a moment of its own. Look at that rib. That's...
By Central Texas standards, it's got to have a nice bite, it's got to hold on the bone, it's got to do all the things. So this is very, very traditional Central Texas style barbecue.
And I think this is the proper way to show that, correct? Right, take a little bit of that. Still got
a little bit of intermuscular fat in there, still holding together. You can see the structure on the muscle grains. It's just a pretty slice.
All right, and this is the, which one?
Jalapeno cheddar.
Come on. High melt cheddar.
Yep.
Perfection.
So all the rib trim, all the brisket trim and everything goes in there.
This is technique. This is true technique because you can't hide this. You get the seasoning, you get the cheese, but the texture of the grind and the emulsification, so it's not crumbly. Your pork and beef haven't rendered out and left you this grainy mess.
Yeah. I think that goes back to what makes craft barbecue different because sausage used to be an afterthought.
Yeah.
There's all the pieces that they just crammed it into a casing, done and done.
And I think that's really why you had that's where bread became, right? Because that sausage, you cut it open, everything would drop onto that, and then you put a pickle and onion on it, do a fold over and hammer it out.
Nice bite.
It's a good bite.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that bite, right? I'm not gonna argue this though either. That is everything. Boy, I can't believe you're gonna eat that.
I'll eat a rib every once in a while.
That's a move right there.
So the funny thing is, we use the same seasoning for all of these.
For everything? Now,
I like to be able to taste the, the true layers of the protein. Like with a good steak, you want to taste the beef, you want to taste the crust. Same thing with this. Salt, pepper.
no brown sugar, none of that.
Everybody has their version of barbecue.
This is Americana.
Yeah,
Fire, meat, smoke, flavor.
and more heat.
More, yeah. You don't see a lot of people do this in the winter, which is when it should happen. What to order at Truth? The brisket, yes. Turkey, it's so darn good. Pork ribs, perfect. Do not forget dessert.
We'll talk more about desserts coming up. Right now, we're going to head over to Gatlin's. Talk about where it all started.
So we're up in Oak Forest today. We're at Gatlin's Barbecue. I'm gonna go ahead and credit them with changing the face of Houston barbecue. Man, those ribs, brisket. Thing about it is, Mama makes the best sides. So let's go in, say hi to the family. I love them. You should too. Let's go, yeah?
So this is the tip of the rib that we cut off when they make them St. Louis ribs. And so you got that kind of thick meat right there. It's juicy, it's amazing with it. So I kind of call it the equivalent of burn-ins with brisket.
So you grew up with a barbecue culture in your family?
Yeah, we did. It was, grandma, uncles, aunts, cousins. Food was always the first thing. It's like, okay, that's the holiday. Well, what are we eating? Y'all bringing this, y'all bringing this, y'all bringing that. It was, hey, let me go over. Uncle Ray is putting the ribs on. Hey, Uncle Ray, can I season them? He'd be like, don't mess them up. And he'd let you do a couple. Once you showed him that, hey, you could actually do it, then he was calling you, hey, you coming over to season ribs for me? I was like, you just trained me, right?
You got your chops now.
I just grew up 3 boys, mom, dad, running around, playing football, basketball, baseball.
And then you went to Rice.
And then went to Rice, yep. I went to St. Thomas High School here, and then went to Rice. And
Did you play football?
Football. So
Defensive back?
Yes.
Know how to lay a hit on somebody.
It was a good time, yeah, man.
But what was the point, the moment that you were like, maybe I should do this?
So I was doing the alumni tailgates, the Letterman tailgates at Rice.
Just for fun?
We're just doing it for fun. It was something to do on the weekends. I was working 9 to 5. The wheels started kind of turning.
To his mom, dad, said, let's do it as a family. Let's open up a first shop.
You got to be dumped in the fire
Yeah.
to really, really, really get the gist of it. Actually owning the place and having to cook and doing all the other stuff and the plumber and the electrician.
You are the jack of all trades.
Yeah. I give a great deal of gratitude to my dad for actually making us, kind of well-rounded growing up. It was like, you got up, you cut grass, you helped him fix stuff. It was all those particular things.
Because this isn't the original location.
No.
Right? You guys were in, I don't know if there's actually a smaller restaurant. I mean,
Probably wasn't.
No. It had what, 3 tables maybe inside?
There were 3 tables on the inside, and there were 6 picnic tables on the patio.
That game-changing moment, right? Mm-hmm. Restaurant, corporate. You didn't make the decision for you. Your entire family made the decision together. Your mom, your dad, your brother, come on. Everybody is involved.
It was nuts because when I told him about it, so my dad was retiring. And he was like, and I asked him, I was like, yeah, y'all want to do this barbecue thing with me? I was kind of casual about it. And he was like, I'll do it for a while, then you're on your own.
I just saw him.
No.
That's the greatest, just wool over your eyes you've ever pulled. Right. Because your mom's here every day, your dad's here every day. The whole family's here.
They're all here. And it's just kind of like, I was like, I didn't know y'all were going to stay, but
it's all right.
Glad you did, man.
It's all right.
Glad you did. Like I said, we got into it, and we said, hey, man, if we can do, 50, 60 plates a day, we can figure out how to break even. We got this particular amount back here, and we'll be fine. We'll just kind of plug our way along or whatnot.
I feel like you did more than 50 or 60 plates a day.
We did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 2010.
So I would say that Houston at that point hadn't come into its own with barbecue. But you had the old school like that had been here forever.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, there was the Gatlins.
Yep.
And it changed like textures and flavors and consistency.
It wasn't necessarily thought out by design. It was just what we were passionate about. So you got brisket, ribs, spare ribs, baby backs. We got 3 different sausages that we source. Then we've got turkey, chicken, and pulled pork.
I also firmly don't believe that everybody that comes in and eats brisket knows where the brisket is from. It's the pectoral, and it's the muscle that, as the cow walks, is being used more than almost anything else. But that brisket has more intermuscular fat, it has more marbling, it has more, but it's just as tough as a boot.
And if you don't cook it right, it's gonna taste just like a boot.
Yes, it will. It absolutely will.
Just like a boot.
The hot box is the be-all, end-all of barbecue.
Gives you moisture, keeps everything warm. You can keep it at a certain temperature because you don't want it to get too hot. You don't want it to be too low. So if you don't have one of these and you're in a barbecue place, you're done.
People cooking brisket at home and then they let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes and they start hacking.
Like, what are you doing?
No. Throw it in a cooler for like 3 hours before you even touch it.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you have barbecue? I'm like, no. How did they do it? Like, I don't want to cook a brisket in my backyard, and you're cooking a bunch of them, and they have to be consistently amazing every day.
Yes. When we were down on 19th Street, it was 3 times a night that we would come back.
You're not getting any sleep.
No, we weren't getting any sleep at all.
There's no good night's rest.
And I was driving from Cyprus.
Oh, get out of here. That's
insane.
why when people say, why don't you open a barbecue? That's why.
It was insane.
I love like more than 2 hours of sleep at a time.
This is the life. I'm glad I chose it.
One of the cool things about running a barbecue joint is the grind. Trimming briskets, trimming meat, guess what? That goes into the grind for the burgers.
This is your burger? Mm-hmm. So this is brisket fat in with this.
Brisket fat, chuck, and some actual brisket, like off of the cap. Yeah.
I mean, that's
right
a darn looking good. That's a good looking burger right there.
You put that joker on, it's juicy.
Yeah, that thing is.
You bite into it, it's just like.
I mean, look at that. That's a good combo of everything. Super fresh. And this is that brisket fat grind, the trim from the brisket, and then chuck.
Got your juice?
I like to call that fallout factor. The beauty of it is like all of that's coming out. There's still so much more in here.
That's what you want. You want a nice juicy burger. And I think I even went too far.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And I'm being picky. Boom.
All right, look at this thing. So, structure,
Yep.
balance. Look at this. I mean, this is a handheld, right?
Yep.
I mean, definitely my hand.
Yep.
You got the laciness. Oh my God. Brisket, the moist, right? It just keeps coming.
Wow.
This to me is like the perfect bite right here.
That piece right there is a good bite, man. I think you rolled it. You rolled it up like bang.
And then you get the lean.
Yep.
That's nice. Good pull. Yeah, people talk about smoke rings. I don't think that matters about anything. It's not actually a thing.
Didn't do anything.
No, doesn't matter.
Good old heat ring.
Mm-hmm. No, and then the baby back.
It's got the glaze on there, man. You got honey,
it's
brown
on
sugar.
there.
Yeah.
It is on there.
Yeah.
That is a rib.
Nice little candy on there.
See, this is honestly like, could I do this at home? Yeah. Do I wanna? No. I'm coming here.
Just come here.
Because you know what?
We got you. Mama's got you covered.
My ribs don't look like this.
sure they do.
No, you're not.
Come on, man.
Drive as fast as the legal limit will let you. Get your backside at Gatlin's, baby.
Come on, get it.
What do I order at Gatlin's? Pork ribs, always. Wings, any flavor. Try a burger. They're doing a good job with those. And then when you get to the sides, Mama's rocking the sides. Get some coleslaw, the dirty rice, the collard greens, the yams. Go down the whole list. Such a cool story at Gatlin's. Don't think I forgot about dessert.
You're an evil, evil human in the best possible way.
We're gonna head over to Truth. We're gonna get some of that caramel cake. They are fantastic. I can't wait for you to try it.
There's certain things that you just become speechless about.
So that is the banana caramel. That's like one of my absolute favorites. My mother made, and I was like, we gotta have it at the restaurant.
You walk past it and you get to your line, you're like, what?
Yeah.
And there's like these cakes over here.
Yeah.
And that's your mom's recipes?
Yeah, my mother.
Right?
I was pretty big when I was a kid. I had a sugar tooth, sweet tooth. A lot of cakes around, a lot of desserts. So.
Well, at least now you can have that for everybody else too, because those things are magical too, right? It's like a lot of barbecue. You go and you eat the barbecue, and you're like, that was a great experience. But then you got the closing move. It's literally like the figure 4 leg lock.
Some of the other places that I truly love. Fee's Barbecue over in Spring Branch. Not only are they doing amazingly delicious meats and sides, they have a wine list that's well thought out. Next one, head over to Pinkerton's, just grab yourself a couple pork ribs, be happy as can be. Pit Room, don't skip on that chicken taco. Other one out there, Blood Brothers. These boys are doing some really cool stuff, really bringing in the culture into barbecue.
Now after this, we'll go see other places that are doing different things and unusual techniques or classic techniques with their own style. All right? Always got to ask the question, what's next? Let's go find that out, all right?
Come on. Oh, let's do a different one. This was the actual thing.